Okay, so I've lived here in the same house for over 2 years. I moved in during January of 2014, right after moving back from Kentucky, where I spent a semester off. In those 2 years, I've had 12 different housemates. Some good, some bad, and some that have become my very best friends. Currently, I live with 6 other people. This is who I live with now: Emma, Ben, Jane, Patrick, Dan, and Nick. Oh, and our house cat, Larold. So technically 7. All of us come from completely different places and backgrounds. None of us knew each other when we first started college, but over time we found each other in the same friend group or with similar acquaintances. This is us. Now, I know what you must be thinking. 7 people living under one roof must be crazy, and not to mention really messy. Well, you're not wrong. It is both crazy and messy, but it's also so much more than that. We cook together, we clean together, we complain together, we watch an absurd amount of movies together, and we even share in hangovers together. So even though 7 completely different people live together in a little house, we found ways to live in harmony in this home that we call the Beckwith Estates.
Whoever just did lightning just say.
Oh yeah, I just did it again too.
Fuck you, I just fell in the fucking gap.
Lightning waves the light.
Sorry about it.
Egg salad, steak, and a tube of biscuits. What's for dinner?
Then we get like a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Balanced dinner.
I don't know if Pine Sol can go outside, but it's happening. Because I definitely dumped out the mop bucket over there.
You put it on ice cream and it's hot sauce. No, it's not hot. It's just regular. It's Hershey's. No, it's just
Chocolate sauce.
Yes.
Hot sauce. He like
Hot
gets
sauce.
to Neverland and he doesn't grow old. Michael Jackson.
Bullshit.
It's a good life. The power spin. Double button. See ya.
The worst thing about living with 7 people is the dish situation. We don't have a ton of dishes. We have a good amount of dishes, but we don't have a lot. And having to clean a dish to be able to use it is just annoying. Like having to clean a pan or something. And it's understandable that not everyone can do their dishes all the time, but it gets to be a little much sometimes. And just in general cleanliness of the house.
The kitchen sink is disgusting. It is always full and there's always crap or crud in the drain. And I would say the kitchen sink is the worst part.
I was about to say the worst thing could be sometimes the best. The worst thing is just getting up early, or of course dishes. Everyone talks about it. I'm sure everyone in this whole entire thing has talked about dishes. But yeah, the worst thing is for people that cook, which is kind of all of us, is having to clean up the place. But I don't know, sometimes having people's friends over that like you have no idea who they are and you're just like, what's going on? I don't know, it's mostly good though.
The worst thing, we poop a lot. We poop way too much. And it's tough to keep toilet paper in stock, especially on this main floor. This main floor, it just has the one toilet, so whenever guests are over, it's just far too many people poop in it for its own good.
So the coolest thing about this house is just the history of it all. How it started out as 7 people who didn't know each other at all, and then our friend Shelly moved in, you know, and we just slowly infiltrated this house, and just kind of the way we've all found ourselves in this house is so unique. That's I think, you know, the most interesting part about this house.
Okay, when I first moved in here was crazy. I moved in and the only person that I knew was Shelly, and she immediately moved back home for summer. So I was stuck here there was actually a few open rooms here when I first moved in, and the rooms that were filled were people that I had no idea who they were and I thought were pretty weird. I also had a black guy when I moved in, so they probably thought I was weird. And I've lived with a bunch of different people in this house, some good, some bad. But now it's all of my friends that I've known for a while, and I just feel super comfortable in the house, and it's just more relaxing to walk into the house and know that I don't like have to, I don't know, I'm just like walk in and I'm comfortable. I'm like, oh, I know all these people. Whereas before I'd walk in and be like, oh man, I hope these people like I don't know what to do around them. Do I ask them if they want to get a beer? Do I just hide in my bedroom? I don't know. So it's a lot more comfortable now than when I first started living here. Hello again.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, great. How are you?
Great. Is the light okay?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, you're great.
You're going to be a star.
Excellent. So, my name is Shelly, and I live in Chicago now, which is where I was born and raised, but I lived in Beckwith Estates in Missoula for almost 2.5 years. When I first moved in, I didn't really know anybody in the house. It was completely, I don't know, I kind of felt like outcast. Like not all my friends were already living in their own houses, and I was just like, found this house on Craigslist, and I decided to go for it because it was like across the street from campus, across the street from the bus stop, and it was like super cheap. I was like, hey, whatever, like, I just moved to Montana without knowing anybody, so hey, I can move into a house without knowing anybody, right? So I moved into Beckwith Estates, and everybody was like on a different kind of wavelength than I was, like, I don't know, I definitely cared about school and family and all that and going out and having fun, and everyone else kind of seemed to have been doing different things, so I didn't have necessarily friends in the house. They were just people that I could talk to, so then eventually the vibe shifted to where everyone in the house is my best friend, and that was definitely a much better time.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Tommy doing? Yes, Tommy.
It's a real place. It's a board.
So the Shellebration part 1 was when our old roommate Shelly graduated, and first of all, we made a bunch of food because we were like, oh, it's a graduation party, we should have a bunch of food. We had a keg, whatever, we were preparing for a ton of people, and I think the most people that were ever here was like 12 or 15 people. Since then, each party has added 10 or so people, and from there, it just literally skyrocketed. And we had a party at the beginning of fall. I think it was the Kappa Kappa Beck party, which was an interesting time. But that party was the first party I really remember being like, holy shit, there's more people here that I don't know than I do know. And I think we've been kind of fighting that all year like trying to get the ratio back up of people we do know to people we don't know. And there's been some good parties and some bad ones, but it's definitely gone from a 10-person party with food to like, I don't even know how many people can fit in our house, maybe 60, 70 if people are in the yard and on the porch, just to as many people that can fit in here. Lights off, booty bumping, dance grinding on the floor, shot taking in the kitchen, beer bongs happening, people getting iced. It's gone from like low-key college party to what you think of a college party as, only in a house that should never have college parties because it is far too small.
I think I'd say the Star Wars party was the best party we've ever had. Like, the most amount of planning went into it, and it was probably the most relevant of any party we had. All the other parties were just because two things rhymed with each other, and that's why we had a party, like hot toddies and hot bodies. Like that, no one, you know, we wanted to, like, Star Wars was cool because everyone was into it, and like it was right around when the movie came out, and gosh, it just went forever, and it was awesome.
The Freaky Friday party, where we dressed up as everybody else, was definitely there. I have a bunch of photos of me in Belushi's clothing. I remember dancing in the living room for several hours on end. Seeing the GoPros of the parties the day after is definitely something that's always stuck with me.
Who would you say is the biggest partier?
Emma. No doubt about it. Absolutely.
Why do you think that?
Well, I've known Emma since she was 18 and she was a wild child, so I think she's slowed down a little bit as she's gotten old, but I think she still has it.
I think Mariah. I think you are. I've seen you take back some Admiral, and it's very admirable. So, yeah.
I think that at one point it was me. I know for a fact that it was me for a while. But I'd say currently it's probably in excitement to want to go out and enthusiasm for partying. It's definitely Jane.
The biggest partier just depends on the night. Emma will go harder than everyone else, but it's very selective. Other than that, I probably go out the most, but don't end up falling on my face a lot.
I feel like everyone's a pretty big partier on their night, you know, like in the right circumstances. Maybe Jane, but maybe lifetime partier, probably Emma. You could talk Ben into doing those things too.
I don't have my lipstick, so I can't like, but I'd be like, I signed it up on the board. R&R. Right now. This is what that means.
I got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the bridge. I watched, I let it burn. I threw your shit into a bag and pushed it down the stairs. I crashed my car into the bridge. I don't care. I love it. I don't care. 70s, but I'm a 90s bitch. I love it. I love it. I got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the bridge. I watched, I let it burn. I threw your shit into a bag and pushed it down the stairs. I crashed my car into the bridge. I don't care. I love it. I don't care. I love it. I love it. I don't care. I love it. I don't care. You're on a different road. I'm in the Milky Way. You want me down on Earth, but I am up in space. You're so damn hard to please. We gotta kill this switch. You're from the 70s, but I'm a 90s bitch. I don't care. I love it. I don't care. I love it. I love it. I don't care. I love it. I don't care. I love it. I love it. I don't care. I love it.
Skidamarinka-dinky-dink, skidamarinka-doo. I love you. Jet, go now.
When I first came into the house, I was terrified to be here because I didn't know anybody and I had been kicked out of my sorority, and so I'd been turned away from this community, and then had to ask to enter a new one, and so I was absolutely terrified. But when everyone everyone took me and kind of put me under their wing and included me in everything, and really, I don't know if they know how much that helped me, because I was really upset when I got kicked out, and I was heartbroken, and I didn't know what to do with myself. And then I came in here, and I was introduced to 6 other people, plus their whole community of friends, plus everyone that we could ever meet around that knew anyone in Beckwith.
You're never alone. I think the best thing about living with 7 people is the fact that people are always coming and going, and you know, you always kind of get to check in at least with your friends. And then your friends are there like to chill with when it's time to chill. So I like seeing you guys.
I think this house is special because it's not just a house, it's a family. The Beckwith Estates kind of family. It's a community. It's not just 7 people who live in the same place and kind of like half get along, but we all like hang out all the time. We all feel like an involvement with all the people who live in the house. I think that's something unique in a situation like this.
I think this house is unique because I've known, I think, the 6 other people for several years. I mean, I met Emma 5 years ago, and I've known the rest of them for just as long. And so when you're like best friends with everybody, you're usually on the same page and you click a lot better than if you were just randomly thrown into a house with 6 other kids.
If you were just hanging out in the living room, someone else will be hanging out there with you. You're both doing homework, maybe you're not even talking to each other and the lights are off, but someone's there with you. You kind of are always in the loop about what's happening, at least with our friend group, which is kind of nice because then you don't have to be like, oh, it's Friday night, I wonder what all my friends are doing. Let me send out like 7 texts. Like, oh, 7 people already live with me and I probably am gonna hang out with them anyways, so I'll just knock on their door and see what they're doing tonight.
I don't know, living in Beckwith Estates, just like, everyone was such good friends, and everyone just had each other's back always. Like, we definitely had so much fun together, but we also, like, fully supported each other's, like, aspirations, and, like, supported each other when we had tough times and good times and everything in between. I don't know, the best part was just living with people who were just awesome humans. Like, we were all just really good people, and we were all super easy to get along with. So that was a great thing.
originally this project started as a joke. Well, okay, not really a joke, but it was like Emma suggested it to me, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna make a documentary about our house. Like, what would I even film? But then as I thought about it more, I was like, you know, that actually might be the perfect project for me. Especially now, you know, I'm moving out in like 8 days or whatever it is, and moving out really soon. I mean, I moved in here like 2.5 years ago, and things have changed so much since I first moved in. When I first moved in, I was friends with 2 people that lived here, Emma and Shelly, and I wasn't even like that good of friends with them. I was more like acquaintances with Shelly, and like me and Emma like lived on the same floor our freshman year, so it was kind of like we knew each other. So, and I needed a place to live and they had a place to live, so I was like, sweet. But then like over time, you know, living with people, you become better friends with them and whatnot, and now I live with 6 people who I'm friends with every single one of them. There's always somebody here that you can like, that you never feel alone, which is really cool. Because, you know, there's times in everyone's college life where they, you know, they're like, they need to be around people and they want that community. And yeah, it's not just us here. It's like all of our friends, and it feels like everybody's a part of this house, even if they don't live here. It feels like our friends who come over here all the time are like a part of this place. It's kind of weird. Like the end of this project is also kind of like symbolizing the end of my time here at Beckwith. But yeah, I'm sitting here in my room that I'm literally about to pack up like today. It's just like, I don't know, it's kind of surreal, I guess, that I'm actually leaving, because like living at Beckwith has been my life, and it's where I've made some of my absolute best friends in college. I'm not the same person that I was before I moved in here. It's completely different. And I think it's a tribute to the community that we have here, and like just the amazing amount of support and just like genuine friendship that just like flows through this house and through our friend group, and even beyond that. Am I ready to leave? Yeah, I'm ready to leave, but I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it a lot. Yeah, these people that I'm surrounded by, I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life, for sure. You can't find many Beckwith Estates in this world. There's only one, and it's the one that we got right here. And as for who the biggest partier is, I gotta go with Emma. As much as she doesn't want to admit it, she will forever and always be the biggest partier in this house. 100%.